welcome back to a brand new video where today we are gonna be diving in to the 5 current rarest cars in Forza Horizon 5. Now we are gonna have a runner-up on this list, but we'll save that for a bit. So let's get right to it and dive into the number 5 spot. Now at number 5 we have the Mercedes GTS 2015 edition, and this car is rare because nobody knows it's rare. In fact, when this car released, most people just assumed it was one of the other AMGs that you can buy from the car pass, because I'll give it to it, it looks very similar. So not a lot of people grinded out the event to get it, only the few that knew how valuable this car actually was gonna be. So now with that and how long it's been since it's released, not very many of this car are floating around out there. So I'm interested to know how many of you guys have your hands on this car, and let me know if you're one of the few. That being said though, it's definitely the easiest one to get your hands on today's list. But let's dive into number 4. And at number 4 is the Berlinetta Lusso 1962 Ferrari. It's a 250 GT. And does this just look like another old Ferrari? Absolutely, because that's pretty much what it is. This car released during Forza's Ferrari month, which was well over a year ago at this point, and it was just one of the boring Ferraris that no one really gave a second look to, because what are you gonna do with this? The only reason this car is popular now is because nobody got their hands on it then. So there's a very few amount floating around out there, and now there's a very high demand for this car. So chances are most of you don't have your hands on this one. If you do, let me know. But if I'm being honest, there's like nothing really special about this car. It doesn't handle particularly well. It's not insanely fast, and it just looks, it's whatever. But let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Now at number 3, we have the Toyota MR2 GT 1995 edition. It's very important to get those details. And honestly, on today's list, this might be my favorite car. It's just a super retro looking Toyota. It can be insanely good at drifting. It's an okay drag car, but chances are you mostly want to use it for street racing and maybe some drifting. And it just looks so cool. It's got that classic Toyota look to it. And the fact that it's one of the most exclusively owned cars in the game, it's just kind of awesome. It's been forever since this car released. In fact, I can't even remember what event it was that released it. It might have only showed up one time. So if you guys know that, comment down below. But other than that, it's just a normal Toyota MR2, which there are other variants of it in the game if you don't want to get your hands on this version. That being said, if you are looking to get your hands on this version, I'd set 1 to 2 hours aside. On the safer side, you could set even more time, but it's a hard car to find, as with all the other cars on this list. And when one does finally show up, man, do they go fast. But anyways, that's number 3. Let's move on to our number 2. And at number 2, we have the 550A Spider by, as the goose says, Porsche. And this is actually one of 2 Porsches that are going to be on this list. Nothing special about this car. Again, it's been forever since this car released into the game. Does it look like a billion other cars from this exact time period? Yes, absolutely it does, but only one of them has this status symbol of being incredibly rare, and that is this Porsche right here. Now, if you're Jerry Seinfeld, I can see you really wanting to get your hands on this, but for everyone else, it's kind of whatever. Like most of the other cars on this list, they're not rare for their performance. They're just rare because not very many of them exist, and it's been a long time since it released. So if you haven't been playing Forza that long, chances are you've never even had an opportunity to get your hands on this car. So if you guys have this, I will be shocked. So comment down below, but I'm willing to bet less than 1% of you have this one. But let's move on to the next. And before we do that, I have to give my honorable mention because I finally got my hands on it. It's the rarest car in the game, the Mini Cooper 1965 Forza Edition. And the only reason we're not counting this as the rarest car on our list today, it's electric? This car's electric? The only reason we're not counting it on our list today is because it made number 1 on the last list, so we're trying to include different cars. But I finally got my hands on this car, and I didn't even realize it was an electric car. That's mind-blowing to me. So let me know down below if you guys have this car. That's crazy if you do. because this is the rarest one. But for our number 1 slot, we have the 356C, whatever that says, Emery Porsche from 1964. And it's kind of an okay looking car. It's another one of those situations where unless you're a Porsche collector like Jerry Seinfeld, you're not gonna have very much. What is that exhaust? That is the funniest looking exhaust I've ever seen. It's an okay car, doesn't handle great, doesn't go very fast. Good luck even trying to drift in it, but same deal. It hasn't released since God knows when. And when it did, let's be honest, how many people were actually wanting to get their hands on it? Oh dear. Probably not very many. So if you were one of the few people, I'm gonna say less than 0.05% of players got their hands on this car. And if that was you, comment down below, because I'll be shocked. And if you own all these cars, you gotta send me proof on my Discord link down below, because otherwise I'm just not gonna believe you. But anyways, boys, that has been today's list. As always, we'll see you in the next video. I'm out. The peace.